Let's see, it's about 1:30, February 23rd, and been about a week. Got a sad thing tomorrow. Got to go to a funeral. A person that I've known for 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. Passed on, Miss Brown, up in the big metro mess, Arlington. No, she's in Euless. And I think she was 92, 93. Lived a good life. But cancer got her. She's, past few years, kind of had the beginnings of Alzheimer's, but not very long ago, maybe a month, she had a soreness in her shoulder, and she started sleeping a lot. And one of her sons, she's got 4 or 5 sons. Anyway, one of them was concerned because she was sleeping so extensively, and said, "Ma, we gotta take a look, see what's going on here." Took her to the doctor, and just sent her home. Just eat up with it. Just snuck up on her. And anyway, she passed on, I want to say night before last. And now I'm worried about her husband. He's 97, she was 92, 93, and they've been married, 70 years. And there's some concern about him. So, we'll go tomorrow and pay our respects. It's going to be rough on Tiana, but Tiana's known her 50 years. It's going to be really rough on Tiana. Let's see, what else? I got that going on tomorrow. One of my boys, John Head, is going to go with us. On to other subjects, been kind of exploring YouTube. I have my little thing I do on here. And of course I got my buddy Ike, and I noticed that Brian, I have some of his stuff. I subscribe to Brian O'Cooter, you've heard me mention him. And Brian is your right-wing radicals, don't want a classic Tea Party, but we're buddies. But we most assuredly don't see eye to eye on politics. But that's the way it is. People should be able to do that. They should be able to disagree and not cease to be friends. Anyway, as time passed here, I've started going in and watching some of the other people on here. There's people on YouTube that are off their meds. In a political sense, boy, I watched a guy tonight, atheist he calls himself. I forget the full title. Something or other atheist. And he was wild-eyed, waving his arms, cursing and swearing about Obama. The guy's definitely off his meds. He's got lots of folks watching him. Darn sight more than I do. Thousands, I think. 24,000 hits on this thing I watched. Be a lot of folks out there that think like he does. Of course, my question is, what are we coming to? My gracious. You can't even speak civilly about anybody. I mean, just screaming and yelling. Then I ran on another fellow. he was more like he was excited. He was enthusiastic. Uh, he's obviously either a college guy or a college grad, but he was talking about his girlfriend in a paper that she was writing, and how concerned he was that he needed to help her, and whether she was going to get the thing done by Monday. And I mean, he was wound up like a 2-bit clock, just going on. I got to looking at his hits. I would say he was up in the hundreds of thousands. Well, although it amazes me that folks would sit down and watch an excited guy talk about his girlfriend's theme paper. At least he was more civil, and I'm just astonished at the folks that get on there and watch excited people, cursing people, people that are out of their freaking minds. It seems like to me. The one guy that was talking about his girl's theme paper, he reminded me. I think I've told you I used to sell cars. This was back in the late '60s. We had a guy that ran the shop, Preston Road Dodge over in Dallas, and Mr. Logan was his name. Old gentleman. He was a national rep for Chrysler Corporation. The store was on its last legs, and they sent him in to put it back together, and he did a pretty good job. We all made good money. But I remember in the mornings, he'd get us out in the showroom floor holding hands. I mean, I don't know why it always kind of bothers me to hold hands with another guy, but we're all in a circle, holding hands, going, enthusiasm, enthusiasm. Do that about 4 or 5 rousing enthusiasms, and believe it or not, it worked. I mean, boy, we were wound up, ready to go. Doug, let's go out and sell them cars. And we did. And he had several little tricks like that to motivate us. And I made good money. So I must have gotten enthusiastic. Logan's premise of generating enthusiasm reminds me of this guy that was, he was in the same frame of mind, about worried about his girl's theme paper. I mean, he just wound up, wide-eyed. I guess it's good to, there are those of us that need to be wound up and wide-eyed. I tend to be, at this point in life, I tend to be a little more laid back. I think about my presentations sometimes, and I say, well, they're always negative. I'm always complaining about something. Is that the way we do it when we get old? We just get old and crotchety and negative? I don't know. But I'm going to go into a subject tonight that I guess it might be negative. I'm going to be negative about a particular fellow or group of fellows. I don't know if any of you have noticed lately. I'm sure you have, but in the last couple of weeks, the price of gas shot right through the roof. The price of gasoline here in the little town that we're in, less than a month ago, it was like $2.99, and it's now $2.60 or $3.66, and of course the scuttlebutt has it that it'll be $4 shortly. I understand out in California it's already over $5. That was the reason I bought that Kia. That's why I wanted something that got appreciably better mileage than other things we had, so that's why I bought it. But once again, I want to blame somebody for this radical rise in gas prices. I don't know if any of you ever remember, but when I was a young man, gasoline was $27.9. If it fluctuated at all, it went down from that. You know, sometimes they had gas for 16 cents a gallon, but it never went up. 27.9 was what it was. Into the 70s. Then it got up to 50 cents. And I remember I had a second job at that time. I worked in the post office, had a second job, and it was pumping gas at this little bag store because I needed some money for my radio equipment for CB. But anyway, people would come in and say, they're not going to be happy till they get it up to $1 a gallon. Remember that? Well, of course, it went to $1 a gallon. Went to $1.50, $1.40. But if you think about it, over all those years, even through the Arab oil thing back in the 70s, the price always stayed pretty stable. I mean, it'd be $1.50, $1.60, $1.70, but it would be that way all year long. And if it went up a little bit, but then it stayed there. Well, back when George Bush came into office in 2001, 2002, Dick Cheney got together with the oil producers, and they formed a energy. I had that thing memorized. Energy. Let me see here. Sure, I don't know what it is. Nope, didn't write it down. Anyway, it was like an energy control commission, something. And this was done behind closed doors. The media wasn't there. There wasn't anybody from the public. I mean, these guys all sat in darkened rooms, and they decided how they were going to handle the future and energy policy. Well, from that day forward, in mid to late January every year, the price of gas started to skyrocket. Now, they blame it on commodities. They blame it on tension in the Middle East. They blame it on all sorts of things. But gasoline prices were no longer stable. I mean, they didn't go to $2.50 a gallon and stay there all year. They would, like I said, in mid to late January, February, March, April, I mean, man, it was whatever the market would bear. And I'm convinced that Cheney and his guys set this up to happen this way so that during the spring and early summer months that, they could just gouge the public. I mean, we were getting off too easy. I don't have anything to substantiate that other than my own opinion. So don't anybody go out and say, that's the way it was. But that's what I think. It's what I observed. Was from that day forward, in the spring of the year, price of gas went right through the roof, and it's doing it again this year. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. Say it goes $6 a gallon. They're going to get whatever they can get. I think they should take oil off the commodities market. Of course, the problem with that is it's on the commodities market worldwide. So even if you took it off in the United States, there's a black. I'm not sure that's a proper word for it, but there's another commodities market over in Europe, and I want to say they call it the black something. And evidently, this is where most of the money is. If you really want to, buy some futures on oil or buy some oil futures, that's the place to get them. So I guess we can all plan on the price of gasoline being $5-6 a gallon. I shudder for these people that have these big dog pickup trucks. Dualies. 7,000 pounds with, humongous V8s in them, four-wheel drive. They get, 7 or 8 around town, 10 to 14 on the highway, and they cost they'll cost $100 to fill up. It won't last 2-3 days. You have to have another $100. So, bless them all. Like I say, that's the reason I went and bought my Kia. Now, uh, watching the news media. You remember one time here a while back, I went after the news media because they made such a big deal out of that football player that had that figment of his imagination girlfriend that stood him up off of Facebook. Well, this past week must have been a slow news week. This past week, they showed this poor kid. He wants to go to the prom someplace up in the Metroplex. And he wants to go in a dress. He showed his outfit on. He had a red dress, some contrasting colored wig, sunglasses. I mean, he was something to see. But his principal, chancellor, or whoever it was at Ray School said, hell no, you can't go like that. Don't be a dummy. Well, now he's filing a complaint. And would you believe that the local media thinks that this is a story? Had him on the 5 o'clock news in his regalia, I'm sure there were several people shot up there. There was lots and lots of news out there. This kid must have been the news producer's nephew or something, because, he was a picture to see. He put his outfit on. Puts me in mind years ago when I was in the military. Been out raising sand, drinking peppermint schnapps. And somebody said, "Devil dog dare you, to dress up in drag." Now I'm down in downtown Abilene, Texas, buckle the Bible Belt. So I have on my military brogans with the nice woolly black socks on. Someplace I came up with a beach towel, a white beach towel with palm trees and dancing ladies and everything. I folded that in half and put it around my waist like a skirt. Took and built my bosom up to about a 56 double D with what I don't remember. I had a sweatshirt on. And then I came up with a red cellophane wig. Now this thing was like saran wrap, stripped, but it could be used as a wig. Got this thing on my head, got the beach towel around my waist, got my 56 double D's here, and I'm standing on the curb. Didn't have a beard in those days, and I'm standing on the curb waving at the guys as they go by, one thing and another. And of course, I was getting a large hoorah. It's one of the stupid things young men do. Well, it didn't take very long for one of Abilene's finest came along. I'm sitting behind the cage in the back end of the patrol car going, "Do you really believe that I look like a woman?" He was going to run me in for impersonating a prostitute or something. I forget what it was. Anyway, it was an obvious, it was a joke, and he turned me loose, but didn't get any news coverage. Like I say, not a line in the paper. Nothing. It's just some idiot standing on a street corner. I didn't know he took a picture of me. Obviously, like I say, the local news media came down, took my picture, and put it on television. Although I'd have been more newsworthy than this dwarf that wants to go to the prom. So I think the news media needs to get back to showing the news, and not these kids that are out of their minds. Anywho, tomorrow's not going to be a good day. Yeah, as you already said, I don't need to dwell on it, but it is what it is. So, there was this guy on YouTube I watched. It was ranting and raving that Obama had killed his 16-year-old kid with a drone, I think over to Pakistan. And boy, they are getting on him about his drone program. Of course, my question is, what are we to do? There are a lot of people in Pakistan. Of course, you shouldn't kill a 16-year-old kid, but if he's in the area and he's hanging out, he stands a chance that he might get killed. His dad was a baddie, and he was hanging out with the baddies, and they have a list of baddies they're going after over there. Ones that have proclaimed that they're going to bring death and privation to the United States. So, yeah, I say kill them. I mean, before they kill us, they'll kill us. I've seen tapes on TV. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it. Get some poor boob with a take him down, cut his head off with a rusty knife. And I mean, they do that to all of us if they could, because we're the Satan, the great Satan. So if they feel that way about us, then yeah, I'm for the drones going in there and getting them. And it is unfortunate that a kid 16 would be in a group of guys like that and get himself killed. American citizen he was, but he should have been someplace else. I mean, he knew where he was at and what he was doing, why he was there. He should have been someplace else. Anyway, I'm going to stop it for now. Brian was over this evening. We were fighting and scrapping about, I'm lefty and he's a righty. I had Bill Maher on the computer and I showed him that. I said, there's the other side. He's just a comedian. Well, I mean, some of this stuff needs to be laughed at. Anyway, I'm going to stop. If I think of something, I'll jump on it and do it. Probably won't link the cover. Let me see. Let me look at my trusty little thing here. Oh, yeah. For you guys up in Siegel North, I talked to David Berg yesterday, and he's doing better. Isn't that marvelous? Hadn't had to have a transfusion in 3 weeks. He's now walking without his walker. That's good. That's super. Huh, that's it. David, coming along. My sons, I hope you have a good day. Brian, I'll say hi to you. Ike? Anybody else? If Easy Rider watches this, the one with him and that nutso hat has got over 30 views. I don't know about it, but maybe people watch nutso hats, but he was in here. Anywho, have a final, and I don't know, maybe we'll do it again tomorrow.